because God had said that he was going to bring him back into his land. He may have been running then, but he told him, I'm going to bring you back. Now, even though he was, as I said, he was a deceiver and he had done all the wrong things, he didn't deserve what God did for him. He didn't deserve it. Based on his actions, he didn't deserve it. Now, I'm dealing with those of you that you let the enemy cheat you out of your blessing because of what you wrapped up in and what you locked in and what you do. You figure, well, I'm not going to really ask God because, see, I don't really deserve this because, see, I've done such and such. And God doesn't deal with us on the basis of what we deserve. Because if he dealt with us on the basis of what we deserve, who would be able to stand? Even those that we think should have this, that, and the other, we don't deserve it because something is wrong or has been wrong with everybody. You got something in your life that doesn't deserve being blessed. It's something about you that God, you don't deserve God to bless you for. Now, Jacob, what Jacob did when he was running, and we all know the story, I'm just kind of abbreviate that. Jacob stopped for the night, and he dreamed he saw a ladder. And that ladder was going from heaven to earth, and the angels were ascending, and they were descending. And they were, and God then, that was when God told him what he did. He gave him the promise. He said, I'm with you, and I will watch over you wherever you go. Now, this was during the time he was running. He was running and trying to get away from his brother because his brother was going to kill him. He was going to kill him, and just like some of you sitting here now, people have been hunting you down. Because they want to do something to you because of what you've done to them. And not necessarily with the gun, maybe with the bow and arrow, but not necessarily a gun. They want to get you. And you've been running, and some of you have been running to the point where you have gotten sick of yourself. Because you keep committing and doing the same thing over and over again. And you're just sick of you. Based on what you are continually doing. But remember, God said, I'm with you, and I will watch over you. The reason why you've come as far as you have, and the reason why you are where you are now, is because God's watchful eye has been watching over you. God's been looking at you even when you didn't know he was looking at you. And even when you said, I've been lucky and such happened, even though you label it that way, he's been looking after you. God is trying to draw every one of us because he's after us. He loves us. He wants us. He doesn't want us to just think about him as being somebody you hear about on Sunday. He wants to take your whole life, and he wants to revolutionize you in every way and make you the best person possible in every way that he can, because he loves you just that much. He doesn't even want you to come in here and think that you're fixing to get hit over the head and beat down with the word. He wants you to know that in your flawed state, in the ugliness of what your life is all about, he wants to do something on behalf of you that will be good for you and for the kingdom that he has set up for you to be in. He never intended for any of us to live here and live a miserable life. He never intended for you to always have to be, you're always stressed out. You're under some kind of pressure about something, or you're having to deal with this and you're having to deal with that, and then you got to try to pray overtime and try to get everybody that you possibly can get to pray with you to help things get to be a little sane in your life. That is not the kind of life God wants for you. He does not want that kind of life for you. He wants the very best. He wants us to succeed. He wants us to have progress in every area of our lives. He wants to give us the good of the land, and then he wants you to live so well that you can get along with other people. So those that you can't get along with, you don't get along with folk because you're miserable. You're miserable, and you don't like people because you're miserable. People that got things going on and they are happy and God is blessing them and they understand that. Not just understand, but it's been revealed to them that God is in the best interest of them. They don't have all these hang-ups with people. Don't have all of these hang-ups and don't like this one and don't like the other one, and I'm just so stressed out. You don't have any business living on aspirins every day. You don't have any business having to take Valiums every day, because the God that you serve, but when you don't perceive him and you don't know him, then you have a tendency to feel many times that you're doing this thing on your own, that you by yourself, but you are not alone. God said, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to go with you wherever you go, and I'm going to see about you, Jacob. I'm going to see about you, Jacob. Now, some of you are having a struggle right now. The struggle is, it's hard for you to perceive that the God of heaven wants to see about you based on how you've been living, based on what you've been doing. It's hard to perceive that. That's why when the word is being preached, many times we can't receive it because we just figure, nah, she must be talking about everybody else, because I know God ain't going to do that for me, not based on what I am. God said, if you were already perfect, I wouldn't need to be here for you. He said, because of your flawed state, that's why I'm here, to show you that without me, you cannot make it. God said, I'm not going to give you a life where you can run it and be void of me as you are living this life. See, this is what the adversary would like for all of us to think, and this is what our human gusto tells us, that we need God up to a point, and the rest of the way we can handle it. God wants you to know you can't handle anything without him, and you must stay connected to him, because without being connected to him, you will not make it. And this is what he wants every one of us to know. Now, I know what I'm talking about, because this is why we don't want to really sincerely call upon God until we start going through something that is devastating. We don't want to get too deep into this God thing, because you see, we got a life that we're going to live on Sunday, and then we got another life that we're not tired of yet, and we're going to go back to it all the rest of the days. So now, God, if you got something to help me with while I'm going through this, I'll take it. But now tomorrow, I'm going to be right back in the same predicament that I was in before. And this is why we have a hard time, we have such a hard time receiving what is being told us when we go to church. We like going because it's something about going to church. It makes us feel good knowing that at least I went to church. But God don't want no at least I went to church from you. God is not after no at least. That's not no praise report, that you went to church and you feel good and you have satisfied a lot of people that told you you need to get your life straight. So you went to church, so at least they're going to leave me alone for a while because I went to church. That is not what God wants. That's not what is after. There are no brownie points for you showing up, coming to church.